The National Intelligence Special Forces team, because they knew too many secrets, were ordered by their superiors to be completely eliminated. It was because of that massacre that Baek Lee-soo implicated his twin brother. To protect his younger brother, the gangster boss Baek Do-kyung acted as a substitute and died in his brother's place. From then on, Baek Lee-soo's revenge began. He entered the underworld, becoming a gangster boss to avenge his brother against their former organization. At a certain construction site, while working hard strenuously and sweating profusely, Baek Lee-soo received a call from his older brother. "Hey, why aren't you answering your phone?" He wiped the sweat from his face. Perhaps because the place was so noisy, he didn't notice his brother's call. "Don't you know why your brother is calling?" On the other end of the line, in contrast to his younger brother who works as a laborer, the older brother is a chairman. Behind him are bodyguards and a hot secretary. He speaks up. "Do I have to have a reason to contact my own brother? It's been a while since I've seen my younger brother's face." Lee-soo turns his brother down because work is a bit heavy today, making it hard to go. At the construction site next to Lee-soo, a colleague is trying hard to direct the work, but the subordinates won't listen, making him furious. "What are you doing? Everyone over there is getting annoyed. Don't pour it in like that, or it will all float to the top later." It turns out what they were doing wasn't labor work. They were mixing cement with a pile of corpses. Those were the soldiers of a nation hostile to theirs. The urgent voice on the other end continues. "All right, just tell me straight. Can you come later or not? Let me know in advance." Lee-soo was about to answer when someone was thrown outside, startling him and making him turn to look. A terrifying smile, a muscular body, six-pack abs, and a weapon in his hand. That's Ji Young Cheon, Southern Task Force belonging to the 525th Special Operations Team. With 4 infiltration missions to the south, he curses Lee-soo and his country, preparing to finish off the other guy. But Lee-soo quickly speaks up to stop him. The man on the ground is a new recruit in their team, so it's normal that he couldn't defeat Yeong Cheon. Even after being stabbed in the stomach by Yeong Cheon, he says he's fine without a single word of complaint. Seeing this, Lee-soo takes off his shirt and gives it to the new recruit to stop the bleeding. His identity is revealed: Baek Lee-soo, a member of the Special Task Force. He is the leader of the Northern Task Force, with a long history of infiltrating North Korea, 4 years of experience and 12 infiltration missions to the north. Lee-soo had guessed it would only take Yeong Cheon 10 seconds to defeat the new recruit, but unexpectedly, the recruit was quite resilient, lasting for about 30 seconds. Suddenly, Yeong Cheon, holding his weapon, slashes straight at Lee-soo's neck. Despite the surprise and the close distance, Lee-soo is still able to lean back and dodge the fatal attack. To counter his opponent, Lee-soo attacks with a strike twice as fast as Yeong Cheon's. He can only stare wide-eyed, unable to react, and then Yeong Cheon takes an elbow straight to the chin. The pain is still throbbing in his jaw, still a bit dazed. Lee-soo acts again, giving his opponent no chance to counterattack. His fist is raised high. Yeong Cheon can only stare wide-eyed, not knowing what to do. The end for this guy is a punch straight to the mouth. Yeong Cheon hits the ground, his mouth bleeding, and dies on the spot. Lee-soo coldly looks at Yeong Cheon on the ground, then coldly puts his shirt back on and turns to leave. Before leaving, he also instructs the team members, "Treat the new recruit and clean this place up. I have an appointment, so I'm leaving first." Yeong Cheon's body is put on a cart. He died without even having time to close his eyes. The colleague who was standing next to Lee-soo earlier sighs. "How can we explain this to the people around here if things keep going like this?" Lee-soo replies softly, "Just come up with an excuse. Say we're working at the construction site and it'll be fine." Scene change. Lee-soo walks into a luxurious restaurant, still with a calm demeanor. He walks gently. As he is about to enter, the waiter stops him. "Sir, please stop. The restaurant has been fully booked today, so outsiders cannot enter." Lee-soo says he has an appointment with his brother, but the waiter scoffs because the shirt he's wearing makes him look like a laborer. "I'm very sorry, sir. Our restaurant requires formal attire for entry. Could you please go back, change, and then return?" Suddenly, the older brother comes out from inside to greet Lee-soo. The brother cheerfully waves. "What's this kid doing there? What's wrong? Didn't you say you had an appointment with me?" Finishing his sentence, the brother walks up to Lee-soo in a very friendly manner. "This is my younger brother. What's the matter? I'm sure there's no problem, right?" The waiter immediately pales upon seeing Lee-soo's brother. He hastily bows and apologizes. "No, sir, I didn't know you were Director Bayek's guest." In contrast to his brother's friendliness, Li Su coldly pushes his brother's hand away and calmly walks inside first, ignoring his brother. Back at the construction site, they may look like laborers, but in reality they are all special forces. Soldiers. Cyan shouts angrily. The company party after 3 months and all we get is frozen pork belly. Across from him, a tall, muscular colleague looks at his beer can and says, "The captain told us to wait. I'm sure he'll bring back something delicious." The new recruit next to him is still eating heartily because he thinks these dishes are delicious. It's been so long since he's had meat. Cyan is still complaining, "I should have just gone with the captain. That place is so expensive, it must be really good." Suddenly, a convoy of cars arrives at the construction site. The person arriving is the Special Task Force's superior. The new recruit quickly stands up and greets him politely. Loyalty Chief has arrived. In contrast to the cheerful atmosphere and offers of drinks from the men, the superior has a strange expression. "I'm sorry the project is over, but I kept you all here because there's something I need to say. By the way, I don't see Captain Bayek anywhere." A member informs the superior that the captain is absent due to a personal matter. The old man seems a bit disappointed and sighs, "Then things will get messy again." Then he reaches into his coat and slowly pulls out a weapon. The new recruit hasn't even had time to understand what's happening before he is executed on the spot. The two seniors are stunned, not understanding what this man is planning to do. From the cars, the SWAT team was already waiting. The superior issues a decree. "I hereby declare the dissolution of the Special Task Force." The SWAT team forms a line, each man holding a heavy weapon. They are just waiting for the superior's order to open fire. The superior shouts, "Breakout order. Eliminate them all." With a cold expression, he cocks his gun and says, "You've all worked hard, now go rest in hell." Back to Li Su with a table full of luxurious food. Sitting across from his younger brother, the older brother with a slightly drunk face makes an offer. "Hey, Beck, Li Su, come work at my company." I don't understand why a soldier would join the First Safety Company. Li Su doesn't tell his brother the truth. He lies, just for public aid. The brother feels a bit annoyed. A soldier has to do manual labor like a construction worker for public aid while I'm in business. My younger brother works for a meager salary. I'll be straight with you. I don't feel comfortable seeing Li Su struggle like this. Pouring a drink, he continues, "The work at my company isn't hard at all. You just need to manage a few restaurants, that's it." Seeing Li Su remain silent, the brother asks, "Hey, are you listening to me?" Hearing this, Li Su just replies coldly, "Let's talk about this later." Just then, Li Su's phone vibrates. The screen shows a call from an unknown number. Li Su excuses himself to answer the phone, despite his brother nagging about how he should listen to him and take over the company. Rushing into the restroom, Li Su answers the strange number. "Hello, this is Beck, Li Su." On the other end is a hurried voice. "Captain, what should we do? There's a lot of expensive food here. Have you eaten yet?" Li Su hears the voice, feels something is wrong, and asks Cyan, "What's wrong with your voice?" Cyan, his body covered in wounds, leans against the wall and says, "Besides you, Captain, we gotta eat a lot of expensive food. I ate a little too much, so I'm a bit uncomfortable." Knowing his subordinate is being sarcastic, Li Su says angrily, "Li Cyan, stop joking around. What happened?" Cyan, his body covered in blood, struggles to speak each word clearly. "Captain, our entire team was given the breakout order, eliminate them all. We're all being purged." Li Su doesn't understand, Cyan explains. "This time it's because we were too careless. That bastard Chief Jiang, that old fox sold us all out. All of their comrades have been executed and buried under that pile of cement." Li Su can't believe it's true. "I'll be back until then, hide well." Cyan warns Li Su, "Captain, run. They'll find you soon. Run." Before he could finish his sentence, Cyan is discovered and dealt with by the others. Li Su's eyes become lifeless. He shouts angrily, calling the name of his comrade, his close subordinate, in despair. At the same time, in the lobby of the restaurant where Li Su was dining, the SWAT team has arrived. The waiter from before announces that the restaurant is fully booked. This man ignores him and walks in, with just one sharp cut. The waiter no longer has a chance to speak in this life. Having waited for his brother for too long, Li Su's brother has fallen asleep at the table. Hearing footsteps, he slowly lifts his head. He thought his brother had returned, but unexpectedly, in front of him are 3 men from the SWAT team, masked, wearing bulletproof vests and holding weapons. The brother's face turns pale, not understanding who is trying to assassinate him. Li Su is rushing back to the room, but the entire SWAT team is blocking the door. His face begins to panic, because his brother is still inside. The men in the SWAT team identify the target as Baek Lee-soo and begin the action to eliminate the target. The one in the lead rushes forward intending a one-hit kill, but his arm is easily blocked. Lee-soo counters with a straight blow to the chest. With his other hand, he snatches the man's weapon, and at the same time tests its sharpness by making a straight cut across the other man's face. Seeing his comrade fall, the second man rushes in. Lee-soo doesn't hesitate to face him. Suddenly, he ducks to dodge a slash, then grabs the man's leg. This makes the man lose his balance and fall backward. Lee-soo follows up with another slash to the man's Achilles tendon, and blood splatters everywhere. The man lies on the ground, clutching his leg and screaming in pain. The remaining men see what just happened and begin to tremble uncontrollably. But Lee-soo doesn't care. He slowly takes off his outer jacket, revealing his Special Forces uniform. Lee-soo assesses them. The trajectory of their attacks is too straightforward. A bunch of rookies. Come on, all of you. Let's get this over with. At that moment, he is no longer the innocent-looking Lee-soo. Deep in his eyes is a sky-high killing intent. Hearing the challenge, the whole group rushes forward at once, because a 3-on-1 fight should at least leave the target crippled, if not blind. But who ends up crippled or blind is not yet determined. The first one to charge in is slashed on the shoulder by Lee-soo before he can even do anything. Taking advantage of that moment, the other two seize the opportunity and slash at his arm. Luckily, he dodges, so the cut isn't deep, just a light graze. In the middle of a tense confrontation with the three in front, an enemy suddenly appears from behind. Lee-soo realizes this and turns his head, but it seems a bit too late as the man is right behind him. Back at the construction site, a subordinate reports to Chief Jang that the area has been cleaned up. He puts a cigarette in his mouth and asks, "What about Baek Lee-soo's side?" The subordinate looks at his watch and reports, "The first squad of the new special task force is in action. There should be results soon." In his gruff voice, Chief Jang, who understands Baek Lee-soo, knows that one squad is not enough. As expected, the first squad is completely wiped out. Chief Jang orders his subordinate to dispatch another squad immediately. They must be wiped out, leaving no witnesses. Lee-soo is extremely worried, not knowing what's happening to his brother in the room. Inside the room, a bloody massacre has occurred. But who would have thought that the survivor is Baek Lee-soo's brother? Unlike the appearance of a successful businessman, the director of a large company, Lee-soo's brother, now looks incredibly fearsome. Tattoos cover both his arms as he holds a weapon to a SWAT member's throat. And then, without much talk, a slash to the neck and the man instantly dies. His teammates share the same fate, lying motionless. Suddenly, the radio on his back crackles with a notification. He wonders what this is. Are gangsters this professional now, using radios to call each other? He's wiping his hands and face, cleaning off the blood from the SWAT team. The radio sounds off target. Baek Lee-soo has been located. Eliminate immediately. Unsure if it was intentional or because they feared he couldn't hear, the radio repeats the message more clearly. The SWAT team is planning to deal with Lee-soo. His eyes instantly turn ice cold and a killing aura radiates from him. Anyone standing nearby would feel their hair stand on end. He is Baek Do-kyung, the CEO of TS Financial Group, and also the boss of the Taesan organization. Meanwhile, Lee-soo has finished dealing with all these pests. He steps inside, sees the bloodstains all over the wall, and understands what happened in there. Lee-soo panics and runs inside to check on his brother, but it's nothing. Do-kyung has handled the group neatly. He slicks back his long hair and asks, "Are all of these your guests?" The two get in the car and immediately leave the restaurant. Do-kyung has a headache from what his younger brother is saying. He can't even remember the abbreviation for intelligence agent, and has to ask his subordinate to remind him. Do-kyung thought his brother was a regular soldier, but it turns out he's in a secret task force, stopping North Korea, and has no qualms about killing people. Lee-soo is in a similar state of mind. He never would have guessed that his brother, whom he thought was just an ordinary thug, is actually the head of the Taesan organization, a major gangster group in Seoul. After a few sentences, Lee-soo asks to get out of the car. It's easy to see that the men from before were not weak. They were numerous and aggressive. If he stays with Do-kyung Lee-soo fears his brother will also be in danger. These people will hunt him until Lee-soo is in his coffin. Do-kyung teases his brother. "Oh, so scary. Get out over there." "Oh, wait, no. Get out in front of the police station to make it easier for them to find you." Lee-soo, however, is very serious because matters of life and death are no joking matter. Do-kyung doesn't care and tells Lee-soo to get out of the car as they have arrived at their destination. Lee Su is speechless with his brother. Now he doesn't know what to do. Du Kyung and Lee Su have arrived at the territory of the Taesan organization. The place is bustling with preparations for everything from wreaths to everyone having to wear black as if organizing a funeral for someone. Du Kyung puts his hands on his hips and says seriously to his younger brother, "Do I look like I'm joking to you?" Lee Su is startled, not understanding what all these preparations ordered by Du Kyung are, for the secretary announces that everything is arranged and is expected to be completed within the next 2 hours. Du Kyung turns his head and says to his brother Lee Su, "This will only end if you're in a coffin, so today I'm going to hold your funeral. The funeral portrait is ready to be used. This is all an act." Du Kyung learned this from the old-school Yakuza. It's said they use this method to retire from the life or to change their identity. Lee Su asks doubtfully, "If we do this, will they believe it?" But nothing is absolute. There will certainly be suspicion. But that's not the important thing. The most important thing is this. The Taesan organization is much more than Lee Su imagines. But if Lee Su has a funeral, as the brother of Baek Do-kyung, the boss of the Taesan organization, there will certainly be high-profile people attending who will become witnesses. Doubt it's not even worth mentioning. Because if Do-kyung believes it, if Do-kyung says it, they are forced to believe it, forced to acknowledge it. While the funeral is taking place, a strange, uninvited car arrives. Some of the subordinates see this and are annoyed. They shout, "What's this? Are you here for a free meal? Why are you sitting in the car when people of higher status have all gotten out?" Inside is Chief Jang. He looks at Do-kyung's background check file, surprised to find that this man is Baek Lee Su's twin brother. Chief Jang scoffs, "This Do-kyung guy is just a street thug not worth his attention." Outside, the subordinates start banging on the car window, peering inside to see which punk is so bold. Chief Jang doesn't bother to care. He turns back to his special task force and says, "This is the final mission before heading to the battlefield. Is Baek Lee Su really dead or not? Flip open that coffin lid and confirm it." As he finishes speaking, the car door opens, and the special agents start to get out. Seeing these guys attending a funeral dressed like laborers, a subordinate asks annoyed, "What's this? Why are you wearing such cheap clothes to a place like this?" He points directly at the special agent. "Did you walk here?" Then flips up his hat to get a better look at his face. However, the agent doesn't say much, just throws a light punch and the subordinate faints on the spot. The other men, seeing their brother get hit like that, also rush forward to retaliate. But with their clumsy fighting skills, the subordinates of the Taesan organization are no match for the special task force. They are all easily and quickly taken down without any ability to fight back. Standing above, Do-kyung watches the entire fight. He allows his bodyguard to go down and properly welcome the guests. With a tall and muscular build, but in comparison, it's hard to match the number 2 assassin group of the intelligence task force. Without a hint of fear, Do-kyung's close subordinate says, "Our grieving family only welcomes those who have received a message," still with his cold style, not wanting to talk much. The special agent throws a hook to the jaw, aiming to knock out his opponent with one blow. But Ha Jin-young is unfazed. He is the captain of the guard team, part of the Taesan organization. Known in the underworld by the nickname Immovable Yaksha, with his large hand, Jin-young gently squeezes the other man's face with incredibly terrifying strength. Even a member of the special task force cannot resist. Under absolute overwhelming power, the man collapses to the ground, then slowly loses consciousness, lying flat with blood all over his mouth. His 2 teammates beside him are horrified, breaking out in a cold sweat. What kind of power is this? He can crush a jaw with his bare hands. Seeing things are not right, they both rush in to gang up on him. Jin-young easily blocks the attacks from both men, then uses the same old trick, squeezing the opponent's chin until the jaw breaks. The other man sees his teammates suffer the same fate and attacks from behind. Although the punch is strong, it only leaves a small bruise on Jin-young's face. One hand still holds the first man's mouth tightly, while his other muscular arm smashes straight into the head of the accomplice, instantly incapacitating him. It seemed the battle was over. But it's not that simple. The special task force is not made up of pushovers. The man whose mouth is being held doesn't want to follow the same fate as his jaw-crushed comrade. He takes advantage, wrapping both legs around Jin-young, creating a lock in jujutsu. This move would instantly break an opponent's arm. But that's only against weak opponents. Jin-young directly lifts him up. While the man on the ground is still dazed from the last punch, he gets hit with another blow. His teammate is thrown straight down onto him by Jin-young. The 2 chins collide. Perhaps after today this team will have to resign because all three of them have lost their jaws. The captain of the guard team, Jin Young, easily takes care of the whole group. Chief Jang, sitting in the car, starts to feel that things are not going well. Just going inside, opening the coffin lid to verify if Baek Lee Soo is dead, and they can't even do that. What a useless bunch. Chief Jang has to personally take action. He gets out of the car, politely adjusts his clothes, slowly, walks over and bows his head slightly in apology. It seems there has been a slight misunderstanding. Chief Jang slowly takes out his business card to introduce himself. I am the superior of Lee Soo, the deceased. We only met once on the way here, so perhaps that caused the misunderstanding. I have a few words to say. Jin Young remains silent, looking up to see his boss's reaction. Du Kyung nods in agreement. Jin Young doesn't make things difficult for them anymore and invites Chief Jang inside the funeral. He lights an incense stick for Lee Soo, looks at his portrait. But this Chief Jang is still extremely suspicious, unable to believe that Baek Lee Soo is dead. If so, then how much does his twin brother Baek Do Kyung know? Returning to a few hours earlier, Lee Soo and Do Kyung are sitting and talking. Lee Soo has told him everything. Do Kyung curses angrily. Damn it, so that's why he started betraying everyone and caused this. Was it all caused by that Chief Jang? Lee Soo simply replies, about that you don't need to get involved. Do Kyung asks for his younger brother's opinion, so I'll give him a bowl of soup and send him on his way. Just let it go to keep things clear. Following that firm statement, Lee Soo doesn't want his brother to get too involved in this matter. He will confront that Captain Jang directly in the guise of his brother Baek Do Kyung. Back to the present. Lee Soo suddenly asks Captain Jang, could you talk with me for a moment? Captain Jang turns around completely startled. Lee Soo is holding a weapon. What kind of killing intent is this? It's like he wants to skewer him right on the spot. Lee Soo, in the guise of Do Kyung, questions him, holding up the weapon and asking, do you know what this is? I got this from my brother's body. Explain this properly, or your body will be lying here, celebrating with my brother. Lee Soo presses the weapon straight to Chief Jang's neck, his voice chilling to the bone. Who harmed my younger brother? Chief Jang's face pales, and he thinks to himself, who harmed him? Could it be that Baek Lee Soo is really dead? The composure of a special agent helps Chief Jang remain calm enough to reply, sir, as the head of the grieving family. Please calm down first. Actually, he passed away while carrying out a national mission. However, this matter involves state secrets, so I cannot tell you. Before he could finish, Chief Jang gets a punch to the mouth from Lee Soo. Chief Jang clutches his bleeding mouth in pain, while Lee Soo acts as if it's real. He angrily shouts as if cursing at the chief. Damn it, what's with all the talk? I asked who harmed my brother. Lee Soo rushes forward with the weapon ready to stab him. Chief Jang is no pushover either. He reaches into his coat also intending to pull out a gun to deal with Lee Soo. But surprisingly, Baek Do Kyung's secretary stops him. Jin Young had also entered at some point. He pats Chief Jang's shoulder and advises him, in this situation, it's best for you to leave. Lee Soo continues to act as if he has lost his composure. Hey, get over here. I told you to come back. Seeing that expression, Chief Jang has no choice but to believe it. Back in the room, Do Kyung intentionally reenacts the previous scene as if deliberately teasing his brother. He teases his brother, great acting. I didn't know intelligence agents also took acting classes at film school. Lee Soo looks down. He understands Chief Jang's nature. Whether he believes it or not, if he can't verify it, he'll be back. This just buys them some time. Do Kyung doesn't seem to care much. He repeats his old offer, wanting Lee Soo to join his company. My younger brother will always have a spot as the vice boss of the Tayson organization, but Lee Soo refuses again. He picks up his backpack and prepares to leave. Anyway, I can't hide here forever. When you asked me at the funeral if I was acting, that wasn't acting. I really wanted to stab him to death right there. Do Kyung understands everything his brother says, but right now the best thing for Lee Soo is to stay here. Do Kyung will protect and shelter him through this storm first. Lee Soo doesn't think so. He doesn't want to become a gangster like his brother. Do Kyung pats his shoulder. Yeah, that's right, I want you to be a gangster. Anyway, you and I are both people who do dirty work, it's all the same. Lee Soo brushes Do Kyung's hand off his shoulder and slowly leaves, despite Do Kyung trying to stop him. Do Kyung holds his head in frustration, not understanding why his brother is so foolish. He can't possibly be my twin. He says that. But Do Kyung still orders Jin Young and a few subordinates to follow just in case Lee Soo runs into trouble. Lee Soo leaves in the dead of night, with Jin Young following closely behind. He, along with a dozen subordinates, follows Du Kyung's orders to protect Lee Su's safety. In a dark corner, this scene was witnessed in its entirety by a stranger. Scene changed to Chief Jang. He still has people monitoring the Taisen organization along with Du Kyung. As soon as he hangs up, he immediately replays the scene in his mind. Seeing that expression, it's clear he assumes I'm the one who harmed his brother. It seems Baek Do-kyung already knows something. If so, I'll have to eliminate him. Suddenly, a dark figure appears from behind like an assassin whispering into Chief Jang's ear. Quiet, if you want your daughter to return safely, listen to me. Chief Jang's arm trembles slightly as he replies, What do you want? I've done what you said now. Where's my daughter? Suddenly, the person behind him throws their arms around Chief Jang's neck and hangs on him. It turns out to be his daughter. Chief Jang's face immediately brightens, becoming gentle, a complete contrast to his cruel demeanor on duty. The father and daughter walk and talk intimately. The daughter knows her father is in the special task force but not on the battlefield, just working in an office. She's quite curious. Have you ever been in a fight, Dad? Chief Jang just smiles gently. I just handle paperwork and things like that. Dad, it's just a small position. I've never had to fight or anything. A perfect lie from Chief Jang. Scene change back to Du Kyung. He's about to have a smoke, but his cigarette pack has been empty for a while. He asks his beautiful secretary to buy him a pack of cigarettes, but she won't go anywhere. She'll send a subordinate to do it. She has to stay here to protect him. Du Kyung whines, Come on, give me a break. Let me get some fresh air. It's like being in prison here. But the secretary still refuses because Jin Young has already taken people to protect Lee Su. Here there's only Du Kyung. Going out at such a sensitive time is extremely dangerous. If there's no one to go with him for protection, Du Kyung is not allowed to go outside. Du Kyung smiles. If I want to go, who can stop me? The way Du Kyung can go out for fresh air is by taking Sua with him. Holding her hand, Du Kyung teases, Could you buy me a pack of cigarettes? Being teased like that, Sua's face turns bright red. She stammers, I'll buy them, sir, seeing her reaction. Du Kyung is amused and continues to tease. He says to the two subordinates with them, This is your big sister. Greet her. Hearing their boss's order, the two men immediately bow deeply and greet her. Hello, ma'am, big sister. Du Kyung notices something slightly unusual. He pats the subordinate next to him on the shoulder and asks, Our big sister is getting more beautiful every day, isn't she? The man jumps and replies, Yes, sir. That's right, sir. You look very beautiful today, too. Big sister. The anomaly is clear. Du Kyung reminds him that in the Taisen organization everyone calls Sua sister, not the formal title, big sister. He asks the imposter, Are you one of Chief Jang's men? Realizing he's been discovered, the man goes all in attacking Du Kyung with a weapon, but he easily dodges. It turns out both subordinates here are people who came to take Baek Do-kyung's life. Baek Do-kyung steps back slightly and quietly asks his secretary Sua, Do you have another weapon? I forgot to bring mine. The two opponents are still slowly observing, not rushing to attack Baek Do-kyung. The situation is quite bad. The luckiest thing for Du Kyung right now is that Sua brought a backup weapon. Although it's under Sua's thigh, there's no other way. Du Kyung impolitely takes the weapon. At the same time, one man rushes in intending to stab him to end the fight. But Du Kyung dodges the stab smoothly, then takes advantage of the enemy's opening during the attack and slashes him across the stomach. Just when he thought he had taken down his opponent, Baek Do-kyung is surprised these guys came prepared. They're even wearing bulletproof vests to assassinate him. The man continues to actively attack Baek Do-kyung. The attack fails again. He mutters to himself, Damn it, this guy is strong and his blade is so sharp it cut through my protective gear. In a one-on-one fight, Baek Do-kyung could easily overpower this man. But on the other side, Sua can't handle the remaining one. She's being cornered, unable to fight back. The man raises his hand about to send her to meet her ancestors when out of nowhere, Baek Do-kyung appears and uses his own body to block a slash for Sua. It hurts, but Baek Do-kyung is still very concerned about Sua. Are you okay? It's been a long time since I've felt what it's like to be stabbed by a blade. He fights wildly, but not without thought. He realizes these bastards are intentionally targeting Sua to distract him. And if this continues, it will be difficult for either of them to escape. Baek Do-kyung uses his strength to send both the weapon and the man flying. Taking the opportunity, the bald man charges straight towards Sua again. This time, Baek Do-kyung is more prepared. He quickly intercepts the attack for Sua. The man who was just sent flying tries to pick up the weapon on the ground to get up and continue fighting, but Sua is one step faster. She kicks the weapon away. With a swift move, Sua also stabs the man in the neck, eliminating him from the game. Meanwhile, Baek Do-kyung has the upper hand. A true boss is different. His strength is on another level. The man, having just had his weapon knocked away, pulls out another sharp blade from behind him. But before his arm can even swing, it is stopped by Baek Do-kyung. His shirt buttons had come undone at some point, revealing his tattoos. Baek Do-kyung's eyes become bloodthirsty. He growls, "I'm welcoming you with open arms, you dogs. Come and get me." Hearing this, the bald man's face turns pale with fear, but it's too late. Only a desperate scream is heard from the elevator. The two guards below hear it and instinctively turn around. Just as the elevator door opens, the bald man falls backward onto the ground with two of Baek Do-kyung's blades stuck in his shoulders, too pained to speak. Baek Do-kyung walks out and scolds his subordinates. "Aren't you guys doing your job properly? Didn't you notice anything unusual in the elevator?" One of them sees Baek Do-kyung's injured shoulder and immediately goes to check on his boss. But Baek Do-kyung doesn't care. He asks, "It's fine. I'm okay. Do you have a cigarette?" Who would have thought it'd be this hard just to have a smoke? Hearing this, the man reaches into his coat, thinking he was getting a cigarette. It turns out he pulls out a weapon and stabs Baek Do-kyung straight in the stomach. He is stunned, not understanding what's happening. Sua is also frozen at the sight. Baek Do-kyung angrily grabs the man's mouth. He says coldly, "Damn it! I said cigarettes. This thing is too big, it's weighing me down. That stab must have hurt Baek." Do-kyung's face starts to grimace, his forehead covered in sweat. The man's skin suddenly sags. It turns out to be just a disguise mask. He managed to land a fatal blow on Baek Do-kyung. He laughs triumphantly. "Director, don't pull it out. I intentionally prepared such a big gift for you." Angrily, Baek Do-kyung pulls the metal rod from his stomach and slashes towards the man, but he quickly retreats to dodge the blow. This man seems to be a professional. His reflexes, speed, and technique are all highly skilled. Seeing the situation is not good, Baek Do-kyung says cautiously, "This guy is fast. Hey, don't give me cigarettes anymore. Lend me your weapon." The subordinate sees his boss intending to fight alone and prepares to sacrifice himself so the boss can escape. But Baek Do-kyung doesn't want to waste words. He takes the weapon from his subordinate's hand. Then he tells him to take Sua away first so he can focus on the fight. Before leaving, Baek Do-kyung also reminds them, "Lock all the doors tightly. Don't open them for strangers. Understand?" The elevator door closes, which is also when the life and death battle begins. Holding twin blades, Baek Do-kyung taunts his opponent. "What? Now, I've already guessed your lucky number. Don't talk nonsense anymore." Hearing this, the man scoffs and asks him, "Baek Do-kyung, are you always this talkative?" This man's name is Yu Ryeong, nicknamed Ghost, a member of the National Intelligence Task Force and a core member of the Assassination Squad. At a glance, Baek Do-kyung knows this man was sent from the Special Task Force, so he continues his act to keep his brother safe. "Oh, you know my name. Could it be that you're the one who harmed my brother?" Despite appearing calm, Baek Do-kyung is not feeling well at all. The wound from before is quite deep. He must end this fight quickly. Hearing this, Yu Ryeong twirls two karambits in his hands and replies loudly, "If I had the chance, I'd have sent that Lee Su to his grave too." As soon as he finished speaking, he charged straight at Baek Do-kyung. Baek Do-kyung struggles to block the attack while Yu Ryeong is completely at ease. He fights, while asking Baek Do-kyung, wanting to confirm only one thing, whether Baek Lee Su is truly dead or not. Baek Do-kyung is angry. Are these guys deaf or what? I already answered, but they didn't listen, and even if they did, they wouldn't believe it. I can't stand these blockheads. Scene change. Captain Jin Young is still following Lee Su closely to ensure his safety. While walking, Jin Young realizes someone has been following them from behind, so he and Lee Su quickly step into a small alley. As expected, the man sees this and quickly runs after them. In case he lost them, he peeks into the alley only to be met with a fist as big as a rice cooker looming before him. Jin Young throws a powerful punch that sends the man flying back 3 meters. The man was lucky to block the punch with his arm. He mutters to himself, What a powerful punch. I think my bone is broken. Clutching his arm in pain, Li Su approaches and asks, "Did Chief Jiang send you here? He told you to check if I was still alive or already dead, right?" The man's arm is still trembling from the aftershock of the punch. He mumbles, "That's right, as expected of Baek Li Su. He wouldn't be in a coffin that easily." Li Su is quite surprised because this voice sounds familiar. It turns out the person following them is Cyan. He cheerfully greets him. "Long time no see, Captain." Seeing the two being so friendly, Captain Jin Young is quite surprised and asks, "You two know each other?" Lee Sayan immediately points to his poor arm and complains nonstop. "Of course we know each other." "Hey, Mr. Godzilla, what about this?" Look, witnessing the comrade he thought was dead. Now standing right in front of him, Li Su can't help but walk over, place a hand on Sayan's shoulder and say gently, "I'm sorry, Sayan. I should have been with you all at that time. Only me. Only I survived." Li Su hugs Sayan's shoulders tightly and pours out his heart. The torment and regret of leaving behind the comrades who had fought shoulder to shoulder with him. Seeing this, Sayan gently comforts Li Su. "It's okay, as long as you're alive." "Me too, and you too, Captain. So next time you go eat something delicious, you have to take me with you. You aristocrat." The two of them exchanging such affectionate words makes Sayan feel a bit creeped out, and he backs away. "Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps. That's enough now, let go. Why aren't you doing anything?" You aristocrat Baek Li Su now finally notices Sayan's arm and asks about it. "Ah, right. Where are you injured? Only now do you care about my injuries." Sayan clutches his arm in pain and retorts, "Don't even talk about it. I have a hole in my stomach, and just now, my arm was broken too." While the two are busy being affectionate, Captain Jin Young receives a phone call. The sound of the phone also attracts their attention. Sayan now has a chance to wonder who this person who almost broke his arm is. He's not Godzilla, so why is he so strong? But that Uncle Sayan hesitates as he sees the expression on Captain Jin Young's face. Why such a sudden expression? It seems like something terrible has happened. Captain Ha-Jin Young's face is now filled with rage. He must have received news that Baek Do-kyung is in danger. Scene change. Baek Do-kyung has been carelessly slashed across the chest. This Yuri Aong gaining momentum continuously launches slashes, forcing Baek Do-kyung to constantly dodge. Offense is the best defense. Baek Do-kyung refuses to be on the defensive and immediately counterattacks. He slashes straight down, blocking Yuri Aong's attack. A blood debt must be paid in blood. Baek Do-kyung unleashes a horizontal slash as smooth as silk. Although Yuri Aong manages to dodge in time, he still gets nicked and bleeds a little. The tables turn instantly. Baek Do-kyung attacks relentlessly, like a storm, leaving Yuri Aong with no choice but to defend. Gaining momentum, Baek Do-kyung taunts him, Hey, this is how you should fight when it matters. Come on over here." He may be taunting, but inside he's not okay. The longer this drags on, the worse it gets. His vision is starting to blur. The scene in front of Baek Do-kyung is becoming increasingly blurry. Yuri Aong seems to notice and smirks triumphantly. The moment Baek Do-kyung lunges straight at him, Yuri Aong completely dodges it with just a slight tilt of his head. Yuri Aong now plays his trump card. From the beginning, he had hidden a thin fishing line-like wire tied to his two karambits. The wire, though thin, is incredibly strong and instantly ensnares Baek Do-kyung's arm. Yuri Aong, who had been silent until now, speaks coldly. "Baek Do-kyung, Baek, Li Su's brother. I have to admit, for a thug like you, that was pretty good." As soon as he finished speaking, Yuri Aong immediately delivers an upward slash to Baek Do-kyung, sending blood splattering everywhere. His arm, twisted by the wire, is also injured, causing him to drop his weapon. Taking a full blow like that severely injures Baek Do-kyung, forcing him to retreat. Yuri Aong triumphantly twirls his karambit and asks again, "I'll ask again, where is Baek Li Su?" But Baek Do-kyung's next action confuses him greatly. He just calmly ties up his hair and raises his hand to cut it as he replies, "You do. People often tell you you're not very perceptive." Seeing the strands of hair fall makes Yuri Aong extremely curious. "What are you doing?" Holding the newly cut lock of hair in his hand, Baek Do-kyung says sarcastically, "Do I have to do this for you to understand? I am Baek Li Su." After cutting his hair, Baek Do-kyung looks exactly like Li Su, like two peas in a pod. These two are indeed identical twins. Witnessing this magical transformation makes Yu Ri-yong horrified, unable to believe his eyes. What? No, it can't be. Baek Do-kyung immediately takes advantage of Yu Ri-yong's surprise and rushes forward, taunting, "You really are blind." But Yu Ri-yong very gently blocks his attack. Seeing this, he becomes extremely smug. "Ha, Baek Lee-soo couldn't be this clumsy. Let's end this, you thug." But the karambit stops mid-swing, unexpectedly encountering a daredevil. Baek Do-kyung, despite his injury, grabs the wire and pushes forward forcefully, preventing Yu Ri-yong from attacking. He is completely surprised to find his move countered. Baek Do-kyung holds the weapon and says coldly, "Just now that hair was a bit of an eyesore." As soon as he finishes speaking, he snatches the weapon and slashes him straight across the face. Yu Ri-yong now clutches his bleeding face and screams in pain. But Baek Do-kyung just stands there and says coldly, "Come on, get up, let's keep fighting." This is like a slap in the face for him, a ghost assassin ending up in a situation like this. Yu Ri-yong angrily forces himself up and charges forward, screaming, "You ignorant, uneducated thug! Anger makes one lose their sense." Baek Do-kyung immediately seizes the opening and grabs Yu Ri-yong's arm. He immediately slashes the arm, making him scream in pain. Yu Ri-yong is finally scared. Now could it be like this? That guy really is Baek Lee-soo. Baek Do-kyung gets into a stance, his eyes as red as blood, and challenges coldly. "Continue." Continue it as Yu Ri-yong cannot accept this and angrily charges forward, screaming, "Impossible, die." But in the end, the one who gets hurt is me, Yu Ri-yong. Baek Do-kyung just gently blocks the attack and draws a little more of his blood. Yu Ri-yong is not simple either. He plans to take advantage of Baek Do-kyung being off guard, twisting his karambit to give him a slash. A petty trick trying to fool an expert. Baek Do-kyung quickly grabs its handle. "Next!" Baek Do-kyung says as he twists the karambit and stabs it straight into Yu Ri-yong, making him scream in pain. Not stopping there, Baek Do-kyung follows up with a slash to his side. Unable to withstand those blows, Yu Ri-yong collapses to the ground in pain. Fear now completely engulfs his mind. It really is Baek Lee-soo. Baek Do-kyung is now like a ferocious demon. He slowly approaches with a terrifying tone. Next. But Baek Do-kyung is now about to collapse. He can only vaguely see Yu Ri-yong struggling and screaming, Don't come here." Baek Do-kyung uses his last bit of strength, grips the weapon, and prepares to strike, muttering his final words. "Baek Lee-soo, yes, just like you." Yu Ri-yong, blinded by fear, can only struggle desperately. The weapon strikes down, but it doesn't hit Yu Ri-yong. Baek Do-kyung collapsed before he could finish him off. Yu Ri-yong lies underneath, panting heavily. The experience of a trip to death's door and back has left him stunned. Even as Baek Do-kyung collapses, Yu Ri-yong still can't believe his eyes. He's somehow still alive. Stunned for a moment, Yu Ri-yong is finally able to react. Baek Lee-soo. So it was one surprise after another. Yu Ri-yong immediately reacts upon seeing Lee-soo's group's car returning. Lee-soo rushes out of the car as soon as he arrives. He panics and runs over when he sees Baek Do-kyung lying on the ground covered in injuries. He screams nonstop, "Brother." Lee-soo helps his brother up, his heart filled with worry. "Please, brother." Elsewhere, Yu Ri-yong has managed to escape with his battered body. He painfully fumbles for his notebook, constantly muttering, "Baek Lee-soo, Baek Lee-soo." Yu Ri-yong laughs triumphantly as he crosses out Lee-soo's picture in his notebook. "I got you? I got Baek Lee-soo." Back with Lee-soo holding his brother who is no longer breathing, Lee-soo cries out in anguish as his only family member has passed away. Sometime later in Baek Do-kyung's room, a very worried Sua speaks to Captain Ha Jin-young. "We can't go on like this. Not only the main organization, but also groups in other regions have noticed the absence of Director Baek Do-kyung. At this point, we have to choose a new representative, Chief Jin-young Yu-2. Sua hesitates at this point. Ha Jin-young, who has been silent until now, stands up and replies, "Without Baek Do-kyung, Taisan is no longer Taisan." Hearing this, Sua is not resigned, she says loudly, "So we're just going to watch the organization collapse." Director Baek ended up like this. Right now, you have to be calm and maintain Taisan in his place. He wouldn't want Taisan to collapse just like that either. Before she could finish, Jin-young stops her. "That's enough. Do you really not know? There's no one like that. No one can replace Baek Do-kyung's position at Taisan. At this point, he can't hold back his tears, the loss of Baek. Dukyung is too great a pain for him. Scene change Sayan is now frantically running after and calling out to Lee Soo anxiously. Captain, Captain. Wait a minute, Sayan finally catches up and blocks Lee Soo. Where are you going? Lee Soo, who had been silent, finally speaks. The wounds on his body were caused by someone who was trained. It must be someone from the Special Task Force following Chief Jang's orders. Most of the Special Task Force under Chief Jang is disguised and carrying out missions in the north, just like us. If we can find them, we'll have a lead on Chief Jang. Sayan understands this and gently calms Lee Soo down. I know, but so what do we do now? Lee Soo replies in a choked voice, mixed with rage. Chief Jang. He's the one who made my brother like this. We have to find and eliminate all of them. Just like what happened to our team. Tears have been rolling down his cheeks for some time now. The hatred within him. Now he will make Chief Jang pay a heavy price. Scene change. At the helipad on top of Pangyo Techno Valley. A group of people is gathering up here. Pangyo Techno Valley is a technology complex in the city of Pangyo Seongnam, known as the Silicon Valley of Korea. The man sitting and peeling a pear with a bit of nail polish on his hands to show his aristocratic status is the chairman of ICTT-1, Kim Chun. He says with a disgusted tone, I don't like Pangyo. There's nothing to eat here, right? This place is full of tailors, so there's no corner to dig up money. Back in the day, men had to swim through the great floods in Seoul. I want to sit in one of the chairs of the 4 major organizations under the General Assembly. As he states his ambition, he stands up and walks to the railing where 3 ropes are tied. Leaning against the railing, Kim Chun says with a sinister tone, and yet at that time, our chief was just whispering meaningless, sweet nothings into my ear. Isn't that right? It turns out these 3 ropes are this chief's lifelines. He shouts in panic. What sweet nothings? What on earth am I supposed to say? Incorrect answer. Kim Chun cuts one of the ropes and says indifferently, This pear isn't ripe yet, I'll just throw it away. The chief didn't expect Kim Chun to cut a rope so ruthlessly. If he keeps beating around the bush, next year will be his death anniversary. The chief stammers fearfully, Chairman, that thing. You mean that right? Tayson was attacked. A friend in Seoul told me. Tayson clashed with an unknown force and is currently making no moves. Moreover, Baek Du-kyung, the boss of Tayson, hasn't been seen lately. What he just said has truly captured Kim Chun's attention. Without a word, Kim Chun cuts another rope, increasing the drama. He enjoys watching his prey struggle in fear and asks further, Oh Baek, Du-kyung is nowhere to be seen. Is this information accurate? Seeing only one lifeline left for his small life, the chief is now so scared he's about to wet himself. He hurriedly screams, Accurate. The information is solid. He was also absent from the General Assembly meeting. Is there nothing else? Faced with Kim Chun's question, the chief honestly replies, I've told you everything I know. As soon as he finished speaking, the last rope is cut to his utter surprise. The only thing left is his desperate scream. Kim Chun immediately orders his men, Gather everyone. He contentedly bites into the half-eaten pear and continues, Tayson, today, we will devour it. Meanwhile, the chief has landed safely on the floor below, panting heavily. Experiencing such a dramatic series of events makes him unable to believe he is still alive. Scene change to the Mahjong livestock market. Lee Soo is walking alone on this dark road, thinking to himself, The safest place is right under the lamp. If you leave it where you want it, anyone can find it. It must be hidden in an unexpected place. That's Chief Jang's way. Opening the door, Lee Soo enters cautiously. These guys have also been trained by Chief Jang. If I'm careless, I'll run into them. But the scene behind the door surprises him to the point of being stunned. What hits Lee Soo's eyes now is the scene of a bloody massacre. Hearing a noise, the only surviving man in here startles and speaks up. No, who's there? Your target isn't Baek Lee Soo, is it? But seeing Lee Soo, the man is a little relieved. You're still alive. Hey, clean that mess up. Even if it's not you, I'm still going to die. Lee Soo, extremely curious, approaches and asks what happened here. The man, now dying, tries to explain to Lee Soo. What Chief Jang? It was his doing. Damn it, he gathered everyone. Everyone was shot full of holes like a sieve. They used wireless devices. Other companies have also been cleaned out. Perhaps other places are the same. And just like that, Saiyan finds the same result at another branch. Everyone is already dead. The man grabs Li Su's shoulder and struggles to say his last words, Li Su. Seeing the man's condition, Li Su is worried. Don't say anything more. But the man immediately cuts him off. He grits his teeth in pain to stop the blood from flowing and advises Li Su Bayek. Li Su, you're not strong enough to touch Chief Jiang right now. That's not an organization you can handle alone. You should run away to survive. Please run away. As he finished speaking, he breathed his last in Li Su's arms. Another person has died in his arms. Thinking of the organization, anger and hatred fill his eyes. Scene change to the Taisen organization headquarters. Kim Chun has now brought his men here to cause chaos. Seeing the chaotic brawl like a marketplace makes him a bit disappointed. So disappointing, one of the 4 major organizations under the General Assembly. Kim Chun says with a sarcastic tone, Taisen, is this all you've got? Jin Young, the immovable yaksha. Captain Jin Young just stands there, but the intimidating aura he emits is incredibly fearsome. He alone has taken down all of Kim Chun's men. Jin Young warns with a dark face, You're the 4th group. I don't know what you heard or where you heard it from this week. You're the 4th bunch of brats who dared to show up here. As he speaks, he throws the subordinate back where he came from. Hearing those words, Kim Chun's face darkens with anger. Brats? His pride hurt. He pulls out a weapon from his coat to go all out. I was planning to be modest when dealing with you, but since you said that, I'll have to play properly. Speaking with a smug expression, Kim Chun calls his men to gang up on Jin Young. Calling them brats isn't wrong. Ganging up like that. Jin Young sighs wearily. He doesn't want to waste any more time on these kids. I'm a bit tired now, so all of you come at me. The atmosphere is as tense as a stretched string, but Li Su doesn't care and pushes Kim Chun's men aside. Move. Li Su steps forward to everyone's surprise. What's this? A Taisen man? Have you lost your nerve? Seeing Li Su, who had already left, now return makes Jin Young a bit curious. What's wrong, Beck Li Su? Li Su replies very bluntly. To avenge him, I need an organization. I can't do it alone. Therefore, hand Taisen over to me. Determination and hatred are clearly visible in his eyes. Jin Young is a bit surprised to hear this. Hand Taisen over to you, Kim Chun. Having been ignored until now, walks forward, annoyed. Hey, what kind of act are you two putting on? You're not the only ones who are busy. You should know how to wait in line. As he speaks, he angrily brandishes his weapon in front of Li Su. This idiot dares to do that in front of Li Su. He truly hasn't seen the coffin to shed a tear. Without a word, as fast as lightning, Li Su punches Kim Chun in the face and also conveniently takes his toy. Kim Chun clutches his bleeding nose and shouts angrily, Damn you, you! But seeing Li Su's demeanor and fearsome presence makes him utter the name Baek Do Kyung. His subordinates hear this and whisper anxiously among themselves, Isn't Baek Do Kyung gone? What's this, Baek Do Kyung? Could it be that Baek Do Kyung has returned? Witnessing everything stuns Jin Young. Looking at Li Su, he sees the image of Baek Do Kyung. Kim Chun is now hiding behind his men in fear, shouting, What is it? Anyway, there are more of us. Everyone charge. His subordinates must feel like they've lived long enough. The whole group immediately charges towards Li Su. But this bunch of street thugs can't possibly trouble Li Su. He just gracefully makes a few moves and sends the charging men to meet their maker. The subordinates behind see this and hesitate in fear. This is insane. Seeing the situation is not good. Kim Chun immediately orders the rest of his men. What, all of you charge at once. Today is the end of Taisen. Li Su immediately switches to slaughter mode, rushing in and delivering fatal slashes. Every time his blade passes, a life falls. So many people, yet they can't even touch a single hair on Li Su's head. Kim Chun shouts angrily, You bunch of idiots, take out your weapons. But the result is the same. The subordinates can only scream in pain, unable to fight back. Unable to rely on that useless bunch anymore, Kim Chun angrily charges forward to handle it himself. Baek Do Kyung, you think a blade can't stab you, sneak attacking and still shouting so loudly. Li Su just gently slashes the weapon away to Kim Chun's surprise. Kim Chun's face is now pale with fear. Baek Do Kyung, this is Taisen. Baek Li Su just stands there, his eyes as cold as ice. The killing intent he radiates makes Kim Chun tremble without being cold. He panics and runs away, stammering orders to his men, Retreat, ban back to Pangyo. The people of the Tayson organization see this and cheer excitedly, Director Bayek. The director is back. The director has come to help us. Only Jin Young is still lost in thought. Without Bayek, Du Kyung Tyson cannot exist, I thought so, but... Thinking this, Jin Young has also made a decision. He steps in front of Lee Su. You want Tayson, right? Bayek Lee Su, if you want to have Tayson, there is only one way. Scene change to a luxurious dining room. The man in the white suit speaks Beck. Do Kyung hasn't appeared for a month. This thug-like man in a red suit also says angrily, Damn the General Assembly. This is ridiculous. I told you to get rid of that thug. Is this the pot calling the kettle black? The pink-haired woman playing with her glasses cheerfully adds, That sounds interesting, doesn't it? Baek Do Kyung is dead. The remaining man, with an extremely elegant appearance, also speaks up. If that's true, Tayson is finished. Returning to what Jin Young said then, Tayson is Baek, Do Kyung's organization. If you want to have Tayson, there is only one way. Baek Lee Su, you must become Baek Do Kyung. At this moment, Lee Su Sayan and Jin Young's group has entered this banquet. Lee Su sits down in the last chair with a smug face and a sarcastic tone. Hey, everyone must have been very worried about me. What now? If I had known, I would have bought souvenirs. Lee Su has now completely transformed into his brother Baek. Do Kyung Sua is instructing Lee Su on how to be most like his brother Baek, Do Kyung. Seeing that he isn't holding the weapon quite right, she reminds him, Your finger should be behind the blade. Obviously you need to do that to add more power to the blade, and it was also Baek Do Kyung's habit. Lee Su is a bit curious about this. Will anyone notice such a small detail? Sua's face turns serious. I'm sure someone will notice. Sua also reminds Lee Su that if his opponent is a member of the board of directors, he should be more careful. It is known that the most notorious crime bosses in Seoul meet with the board of directors, the purpose being to prevent conflicts between gangs and to encourage mutually beneficial business cooperation. But in reality, it's not like that. Everyone talks a good game, but behind their backs, they're holding a weapon ready to stab their opponent at the slightest opening. They are always waiting for an opportunity to benefit themselves, waiting for conflicts to arise. Lee Su knows that too, which is why he wants to get involved in this big matter. Sua also understands this. She wants him to be careful. If anything happens to you, the Tayson organization will also fall apart. Sua's face becomes gloomy again. Honestly, she's not sure if this is the right choice anymore. Baek. Do Kyung is gone. She doesn't understand why they have to protect the Tayson organization. Lee Su immediately answers her question, his eyes turning ice cold. The words he speaks are also incredibly chilling. I need the Tayson organization to back me up. A gang for revenge, stronger than other gangs. That's why I need the Tayson organization and the board of directors to fulfill my own wish. Sayan and Jin Young standing beside him hear this and say nothing more. At night in a desolate area, the man sitting with 2 bodyguards behind him is the police chief of Seoul. His name is Cho Won-ho. He smiles with satisfaction and says to the person standing next to him, Chief Jang, you did a great job. Your skills are truly admirable. As for Chief Jang, he maintains a calm and unusually somber expression. He says gently, It's all thanks to your help, sir. They are all very skilled. Hearing this, Won-ho gives a thumbs up to praise Chief Jang's achievement. He says modestly, No, your work skills are the most important. That's why all those guys are buried here, right? As he speaks, he points down to the pile of cement that has hardened into concrete below. Then he claps his hands and laughs heartily. Excellent, Chief Jang. You really are a special person. I like it a lot. Is this what they always say? Doing dirty work for a brighter future. Suddenly, old Won-ho's attitude changes 180 degrees. He growls. The delegates have been worried lately. You can't gauge the mood of the people in the north from those outdated clothes. Of course, because of that. I'm also under a lot of pressure from above. They keep telling me to do this and that, which is why I'm so busy. Won-ho slaps Chief Jang hard on the shoulder, speaking as if shouting in his face, asserting his superior status over a subordinate. I'm already this busy, so why are you trying to piss me off like this? Is it that hard to deal with those pests out there? Won-ho continues to criticize Chief Jang's work methods, which he finds completely unsatisfactory. Why do you create so much trouble for me? Don't you know how many resources I've wasted cleaning up the messes you've made? Chief Jang, being scolded, can only lower his head in shame and apologize. I'm sorry for causing you trouble, sir. But this Wanho guy continues to berate Chief Jang until he's blue in the face, talking so much that spit flies everywhere. What did you say requesting the elimination of the Taesan organization and that gangster bastard Baek Do-kyung? Don't you know how influential the Taesan organization is? And do you know what that means? Before he could finish, the tall, dark, and smelly bodyguard is taken down by Chief Jang in one move. His head hits the ground hard. There's a loud thud, which could be heard from Korea all the way to Vietnam. Without giving the man time to recover, Chief Jang follows up with a stomp to his face, knocking this guy out cold on the spot. That one scene makes the police chief cringe. Even the bodyguard behind him is surprised by Chief Jang's skills. Out of nowhere, a gun barrel is pointed straight at Wanho's head. Fear is evident on his face, sweat pouring down like rain, but he doesn't dare to move a muscle to wipe it away. Chief Jang presses the gun to Wanho's head and says, "Should I bury you along with him?" Only then does the police chief realize his place. He raises both hands to beg for his life, as cowardly now as he was arrogant before. "Mr. Jang, I was wrong. Please spare me." Chief Jang's face remains cold without a hint of pity. The old man speaks. "Mr. Police Chief, I've buried my own men alive before. Give me one reason why I should spare your dog's life." Wanho is terrified. He quickly blurts out his own usefulness. "Mr. Jang, sir, I will take care of the matter you mentioned. Regarding the Taesan organization and that Baek Do-kyung, I have connections with people on the board of directors." Only after hearing this does Chief Jang put his gun back inside his coat. He reminds him, "Do this without getting your hands dirty." Besides that, he has one more task to meet Baek Do-kyung in person. Hearing this, Police Chief Wanho can only nod and agree, obeying without question. Scene change to a Chinese restaurant. There's a round table with 5 chairs, but only 4 people are sitting. The man in red with his legs crossed arrogantly boasts to the other 3, "That Baek Do-kyung guy is dead, I told you so. Why didn't you believe me?" This person is Ryu Tae-hyung, the boss of the Gaeonrang gang, which belongs to the Gaeonrang group. He is happy when mentioning Baek Do-kyung's demise. "I told you he's not on the same level to sit at the same table as the 4 of us." Hearing this across from Ryu Tae-hyung, the elegantly dressed man he is, Han Sung, the boss of the Gangnam area, also the CEO of HHS Entertainment, holding a cup of wine. He takes a sip and says, "Not necessarily. Baek Do-kyung said he's on a business trip. Why do you always get so worked up every time his name is mentioned?" Hearing as if the other person is implying something about him, Ryu Tae-hyung clarifies, "Are you talking about me? I'm not the only one getting worked up." Suddenly, a mad dog appears out of nowhere, with no one backing him up, and takes over the crucial area of Hanam-dong. That guy should be put in a coffin and have his funeral. Sitting next to him, Cha-ju-hwa takes off her glasses and remarks at Ryu Tae-hyung's words, "You talk as if you really want to stab him. You must hate Baek Do-kyung a lot." Looking at the tattoos on Cha-ju-hwa, one can tell she comes from a formidable background. She is the leader of the Guro-gu district, the big sister of the Samhap Hui gang, backed by the Jeongung Trading Corporation. Seeing all the words directed at him, Ryu covers his face, speechless. "Why are you all trying to make me out to be the bad guy?" Seeing this Tae-hyung being noisy all this time, the person opposite him reminds him, "That's enough, Mr. Ryu. We're not here to argue. The reason we are here today is to resolve the tension between the gangs." The person who just spoke is Lee Si-ung-min, the boss of the Jongno-gu area. He is also the leader of the Nine Swords gang. Being reminded so directly makes Tae-hyung feel his face flush. He stubs out his cigarette on the table and says loudly, "Aish, damn it, this Chinese guy Se-ung-min. If you treat me like that, I won't be very comfortable with you either. You don't deserve to sit here with your current position. You think you deserve worthy of a seat here just because you control a district as small as a tiny ward." Sung-min was about to retort to Tae-hyung's words when Han-sung interrupted the conversation, not wanting these two to argue and then start fighting. "Right here," he said while staring at his phone. "Hey, Sung-min, pass me the soy sauce. It's too far for me to reach." Tae-hyung didn't stop. He was arrogant and cocky. He lifted his chin, then gave the middle finger as a challenge to Sung-min. "You coward, you wouldn't dare do anything to me. As long as we're still allowing you to be here, show some respect for your seniors." Suddenly, from out of nowhere, Sion walked into the room of the bosses. Tae-hyung saw Sion and turned to ask, Who the hell are you? Why do you look like one of the waiters? Sion didn't care. He turned in another direction and said, Sir, we have arrived with an atmosphere as tense as a guitar string. I'm sure this is the place Baeklisu in the guise of Baek. Dokyeong slowly walked in. Seeing this sudden appearance, the whole group was surprised, unable to sit still, because there was credible information before that Baek Dokyeong was already dead. How could he possibly appear here? Going back to earlier, a file was handed to Lisu. It contained information on all the members of the council, although there weren't many characters. But the most important part was their interconnected relationships they gathered together, creating a good mutually beneficial relationship. Lisu didn't care much about that, no matter what they were like. He was sure he would find their weaknesses eventually. The thing he was quite worried about was handling things the way Baek Dokyeong would. Baeklisu began to step into his brother's role. He looked the part of a gangster boss covered in tattoos with his hands in his pockets. He asked Taeyong, You said, looks like a waiter. Are you talking about me, seeing the return of Baek Dokyeong in a different operating system? The big sister Duhwa inquired. Hey Baek, are you really still alive? You even cut your hair short? I almost didn't recognize you. Lisu gently pulled out a chair and replied, I'm trying to make an impression, and you didn't even recognize me. Taehyung sitting next to him started to taunt. I thought some guy stabbed you and you were already dead in some corner. Damn it. I thought I wouldn't have to use my weapons on you. Lisu was no pushover either. He retorted annoyingly. Aren't you using chopsticks? If you're going to eat like a mutt and not use them, I'll take them, okay? Taehyung's blood boiled, but he couldn't do anything. The big sister Duhwa couldn't help but laugh out loud at that retort. While Hansung was trying to hold back his laughter, he got straight to the point. Hey, Mr. Baek, while you were away, we had a conversation. Lisu looked curious, wanting to know what it was about. Is that so? You guys must have been very worried about me. I should have brought some gifts or something for everyone. Hansung was a bit puzzled. We heard that your younger brother passed away. It must have been very difficult. You didn't even contact us normally. Baek Dokyeong would never do that. Taehyung chimed in. He had also heard about this, a funeral that was considered quite crazy, because some people came to cause trouble and wreak havoc. They weren't ordinary people, but skilled fighters. To tell this story would probably take all night. Hansung returned to the main issue that needed discussion. To summarize, does Baek Dokyeong currently deserve to sit here or not, facing everyone's gaze? Lisu slowly stood up. He sighed, his face showing a bit of disappointment. If you knew someone was in trouble, why didn't you go and help them? As he finished speaking, Lisu picked up the weapon and stabbed it straight into the table, startling the whole group. With a grim face and a murderous look in his eyes, Lisu growled. He enunciated every word clearly so they wouldn't miss a single one. But anyway, who are you talking to about the qualifications of the Tisen clan? You think the main association has that right? Hansung was so angry, his eyes turned red, his eyebrows furrowed. He couldn't stand Baek Dokyeong's recent words. How can we listen to those words? Are you planning to turn on and oppose everyone here? Lisu doesn't beat around the bush. He made his point clear. Enough talk. I'm going to be blunt like this, so listen carefully. This is what the Tisen clan wants. The Tisen clan cannot join the main association. You can do whatever the hell you want. Lisu's expression at that moment was no joke at all. Leaving the meeting, Lisu returned to the Tisen clan, while Sion was excitedly admiring the car. Because it was his first time in such a fancy car, Lisu was deep in thought. Jin Young in the driver's seat looked through the rearview mirror and asked Lisu, The main association is now our enemy. Do you have a plan? Lisu looked out the window silent. Suddenly, from out of nowhere, a car sped straight towards his car. Jin Young quickly swerved, successfully dodging the recent collision. Otherwise, the three of them in the car would have been in big trouble. Sion was angry. He rolled down the window and yelled, What kind of blind mud is driving that car? But on second thought, the situation wasn't very favorable. Lisu's group's car was surrounded by 3 other cars. There was no escape. From one of the 3 cars, Ryu Taehyung got out. He shouted, Baek Dokyeong's name. What kind of bullshit were you talking about at the conference? He said as he approached Lisu's car. To get ready for the fight, this guy even put on iron knuckle dusters. He smirked triumphantly. Like you said, we can do whatever we want, right? As soon as he finished speaking, this madman punched straight through the window where Lisu was sitting. The car window shattered, pieces flying everywhere. But Lee Su's expression didn't change at all. His face darkened, his eyes like bullets staring at Ryu Taehyung, but this madman didn't know what fear was. He was still nonchalant, leaning his face close to Lee Su's and enunciating every word. You said, we can do whatever we want. Huh. Then let me be the leader of the Taesin clan, you mutt. Going back a little while earlier, Sion was still showing great excitement for this fancy car. Jin Young reminded him, stop messing around. You're distracting my driving, sit still and buckle up. Then he mentioned the issue with the main association. Lee Su sat in the back seat, thinking deeply for a moment, then replied firmly, I will crush the entire main association under my feet. But before that, there's something else that needs to be done. Catch the rat in the main association. Sion heard that and turned his head, curiously asking Lee Su, a rat? In the main association? Who's the rat? Jin Young remained very calm while driving. He was quite puzzled, not understanding why Lee Su thought that way. He spoke up to explain. Just now in the council meeting, those guys said, I said the funeral was noisy and also the assassination thing. If it was the director's funeral, an obituary would have been sent to the main association. This isn't anything special. So the conflict that happened in Taesun had nothing to do with the funeral. Both Sion and Jin Young were startled to realize something after hearing that Sion put his hand on his forehead, thinking, that's right, that's it. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. How did I hear that and not understand anything? Jin Young gripped the steering wheel tightly. He asked Lee Su in a low voice, so who is the one hiding behind the scenes within the main association? It turns out you already knew. Back then, Lee Su said, that's why I avoided going to the main association before finding that rat. And to find that rat, you just need to mess up the main association, and it will crawl out on its own. And just as Lee Su had predicted, the one who appeared was none other than Ryu Taehyung. Hey Baek Dokyoung, get out of the car. When he saw Baek Dokyoung still stubbornly sitting in the car ignoring his words, he yelled, you don't dare to get out, or do I have to drag your precious body out for you to comply? Thinking back, this Ryu Taehyung, Taesun and Girang have always had the most friction, and there's clear hostility between the two sides. Lee Su thought to himself, could this guy be the rat I was talking about? On this side, ignoring whatever Taehyung was yelling about, Sion stuck his head out the window and shouted angrily, hey you blockhead, just tell me to open the door. Why do you have to smash the car window? Don't you know this car is expensive? Get your dog paws off it. What kind of gangster boss are you with no basic manners? Taehyung's attention shifted to Sion. He sneered mockingly. Aren't you the guy who looked like a waiter earlier? What did you just say? Say it again for your daddy to hear. Sion opened the car door and slowly got out from his appearance. He didn't seem scared of this Taehyung guy at all. Sion challenged loudly. I'm out of the car now. What are you going to do to me? Today is the first time I've ridden in such a fancy car, so I'm in a really good mood. Taehyung's ears tingled a bit after hearing that. Is this guy asking for a beating? You're quite pleasing to my eyes. Besides that Baek Dokyoung in the car, do you want to work for me? Sion continued to provoke Taehyung. You're recruiting me to be your boss. In that case, I'll agree with both hands and feet. But first, let's go to the repair shop. Saying these words, Sion's face didn't change at all, even though he was facing a top gangster boss. Before Sion could finish his sentence, Taehyung got angry and threw a punch straight at Sion's face. It looked powerful, but for Sion, he only needed one hand to stop this punch. Taehyung's hand trembled violently. He tried to use more force but couldn't move it at all. Sion saw this and sneered, oh my, look at your habits. Are you a thug, always resorting to violence at the slightest provocation? Seeing his punch easily blocked, you'd think the madman Taehyung would be furious, but no, he seemed more excited than ever. Oh, aren't you surprised you can block it? You just made me very pleased with you. Just as they were about to exchange moves and have a satisfying fight, from out of nowhere, a convoy of cars arrived. Seeing this, Taehyung also stopped looking at the convoy and wondering, what the hell is this now? Are they planning to throw a celebration party right here? The person who arrived was Lee Sungmin. As soon as he got out, Taehyung asked, what are you doing here, Sungmin? Hearing this, Sungmin's expression didn't change. He said, Representative Ryu Taehyung. Let's stop everything here. Taehyung gave Sungmin the middle finger again. Then with a sarcastic tone, if young Master Sungmin says, stop, then we must stop. What now? Wasn't one middle finger enough for you? You must have been chasing me for a while. Taehyung approached Sungmin and asked, we're planning a party here. You want to join? I wonder if the Ilhak clan has what it takes. Seungmin's face didn't change at all after the madman Taehyung's antics. Suddenly a loud laugh came from behind a large hand placed on Taehyung's shoulder. What it takes, Ryu Taehyung, you're all talk. A large old man, though. Old was still very muscular. He continued. I remember not long ago you were crying over the scar on your back, weren't you? You've grown up a lot lately. Turning to look back, Taehyung's expression changed slightly. Ninth blade, Choi Chunho. Old man, what are you doing all the way out here? On this side, suddenly pushed aside, Sion's hands were free again. He pointed towards the other guys, then turned to Jin Young. What's going on? Who's that uncle in the white suit? Those two look like they're about to film a long-running drama. We're standing here waiting forever. Should we yell, cut? Jin Young was also quite surprised by this appearance. That old man is a blade part of the Ilhak clan's elite team. I didn't expect a ninth blade to show up here. Sion wondered. What's a ninth blade? Jin Young began to lecture, teaching Sion a course on the gangster world. Right now, the Ilhak clan's reputation has declined a lot. The previous generation of Ilhak was a top organization in all of Seoul. Back then, the Ilhak's elite team had a total of 9 members. They were called the 9 Blades. Sion put his hands on his hips after hearing that, looking at the crowd and exclaiming, it's really a story involving gangster uncles. Sounds truly epic. But looking at everyone's reactions, it's probably not a lie. Taehyung's men saw the appearance of old Choi Chunho and started to tremble, sweat pouring down their faces. However fierce they were just moments ago, they looked that scared now. A ninth blade. Ninth blade. Choi Chunho. Is that old man really Choi Chunho? Seeing the crowd's reaction to his appearance, Choi Chunho just laughed and said, these kids really have no ambition. Choi Chunho from the Ilhak clan. He is also the leader of the Blades, with the title of Second Blade. Taehyung could see from his expression that he was not doing well at all. He thought to himself, damn it, it's the Ilhak clan again. Why are they showing up here? This is a private matter between me and the Taesun clan. What reason do these guys have to stick their noses in this business? While he was lost in thought, Jin Young had already gotten out of the car, walking past Taehyung without any greeting. He approached the Ilhak side to greet Choi Chunho Sr. Long time no see. Choi Chunho saw Jin Young approaching as well. The two of them seemed very close, ignoring Taehyung, who was being completely left out. Choi Chunho asked cheerfully, Hey Jin Young, how did you get so big? Jin Young respected his senior, much like his mentor. I should have been the one to greet you, senior. I didn't expect to meet you here. Seung-min, standing behind and observing everything, spoke up. Representative Taehyung, we would like to invite the Taesun clan to be our guests at Ilhak. Will this be a problem for you? Taehyung was angry. He turned and walked away, replying, do whatever you damn well please. Taehyung understood, stubbornly, provoking Ilhak now would only bring harm and no benefit staying, wouldn't accomplish anything, so he had to leave. Albeit reluctantly, Sion saw this and laughed with satisfaction. This guy is scurrying away like a little puppy. Meanwhile, Seungmin had approached Lee Soo. At some point, he politely invited Director Baek, please take my car. This car's window is broken. It's very dangerous to travel in. Lee Soo sat in the car, observing all the developments. He thought to himself, this Lee Seungmin, what is he planning to do? Unlike Taehyung's invitation this time, Lee Soo happily got out of the car, laughing and agreeing to get into the car that Seungmin had arranged for him. To make things easier, Choi Chunho wanted to separate Jin Young from Lee Soo's group. You two go this way. I have some old stories to catch up on with this old friend. Jin Young also understood the intention, so he wanted to go with Lee Soo. I'll go with the director. But before he could finish the sentence, Lee Soo waved his hand. It's okay. I'll take Sion with me. That car is too small, you won't fit. The car sped along, carrying Lee Soo and Sion to the Ilhak clan's territory. Sitting in the car, Seungmin probed, Lee Soo, is the Taesun clan really going to withdraw from the main association? Lee Soo sat in the car without a trace of fear. Even knowing that a treacherous banquet awaited him, he replied cheerfully, it's just a withdrawal, but it doesn't mean a retreat. Qualifications. It was just a decision made in anger. Seungmin warned Lee Soo. If you withdraw from the main association just like that, the other organizations will clamp down hard. Lee Soo knew that too. That's right. I was even suddenly attacked today. I'll probably have to demand money for repairs. although he said that in his heart he was still waiting for this Seungmin to reveal his true colors. Seungmin continued to bring up the issue of the main association. The main association is a place of restraint and competition among organizations. If you want to survive, you must have strength. Lee Soo didn't have the patience to listen to Seungmin ramble on about the main association. He got straight to the point. Whatever you want to say, just say it. Representative Lee Seungmin. The car carrying Lee Soo was then brought to a cargo port. Seungmin in the car no longer beat around the bush. His serious expression was clear. Director Do-kyung, I need strength now. As soon as the words were spoken, a figure was already waiting outside the window. Lee Soo also realized it. Seungmin's words were nominally a proposal, but his actions were no different from saying that if he refused, it would be hard for Lee Soo to leave today. Scene change. Jin Young was quite worried about Baek Lee Soo. While Choi Chun-ho remained very calm, he looked at the shattered window and remarked, besides biting people in the back just now, that brat Taehyung's fighting was pretty good. Jin Young turned to leave. Choi Chun-ho spoke up. Jin Young, don't come and cause trouble with the Ilhak clan. Jin Young, whether you like it or not, you are now a member of the Taesan clan, so don't talk about that anymore. It's meaningless. Choi Chun-ho continued to persuade. You also have a connection with the Nine Blades. There's still a place for you there. But Jin Young remained very firm in his decision. I am a member of the Taesan clan, and above all, I have things to do, so I'll be going first. Choi Chun-ho's voice no longer had its earlier conciliatory tone. Jin Young, you have nothing to do today. Taesan will fall, it's over now. Hearing those words, Jin Young froze for a few seconds. Because he knew those words were not a lie, he also clearly understood how great the power of the Nine Blades was. Returning to Lee Soo's side outside the car, the men of Ilhak had arrived, or more accurately, the Nine Blades, all big shots. They had a long-standing reputation in the gangster world. They still greeted politely. Hello, Director Baek Do-kyung. Welcome to the Nine Blades. Lee Soo was quite surprised by Seong's reception. Representative Lee. Such a grand welcome. It's beyond my imagination. Seung-min replied very calmly. It's normal. This is our highest welcoming ceremony. Lee Soo heard that, held his face, and laughed out loud. Then, with a face that looked like he wanted to eat his opponent alive, he said, It was you, wasn't it? The little rat in the main association. Seung-min was silent. This was no different from admitting it himself. Lee Soo immediately ordered Sion get Seung-min. Sion's eyes changed instantly. He became more serious than ever. The underling driver saw this Baek Do-kyung's arrogance right in Ilhak's territory. He intended to teach the two in the car a lesson, but before he could do anything, he took a punch to the mouth from Sion. This guy passed out right on the steering wheel. Sion was annoyed with this guy for yelling in his ear earlier. This little puppy so loud, be a good boy and sleep there for a bit. Seeing Sion's strength just now, Seung-min was also surprised. He didn't expect someone who looked so weak to be so strong. On this side, Lee Soo had already gotten out of the car. He was face to face with the leader of this Nine Blades group. Scene change. Taehyung held a cigarette in his hand, exhaling a puff of smoke to control himself, because he was almost angered to death by that group earlier. He didn't expect that bastard Lee Seung-min to bring the whole Nine Blades here. In the car, the driver wondered as he drove boss just how fearsome is the Nine Blades that everyone in the underworld is so scared of them. Taehyung saw this guy was still talkative while driving. He asked, Hey, are you good at fighting? As soon as he said that, he slapped the driver on the head and said, If you're not good at fighting, then focus on your driving job. Taehyung said annoyingly to his underling, Already stupid, you don't know anything and still talk so much. Do you know how the Ilhak clan managed to take over all of Seoul? Taehyung squeezed the underling's mouth. I used to wonder the exact same thing as you. Back then, I saw it with my own eyes. The Ilhak clan has 9 sharp knives. With just 3 members of the Ilhak gang, it was enough to destroy the entire organization in the Gangbuk area. Although the Nine Blades now only has 6 members, but with just 3 members of the Nine Blades, no matter what happens, everything will be resolved smoothly. So what kind of madman would dare to fight with the Nine Blades? The question is, what if there's someone with strength surpassing even the Nine Blades? The certain outcome would be that person would completely swallow this Seoul territory. Just as Taehyung said, there is a madman named Baek Lee Soo. He just punched straight into the face of the leader of the Nine Blades, who was blocking his way. Flashing back a few days at a fishing spot at night, Seoul's police chief Wonho was talking to someone. I'm telling you this out of the goodness of my heart. Tayson's status now is no longer the same as before. It's just the mountain behind the neighborhood now. He laughed and continued. Because of the project from above, Baek Dok-young lost his younger brother. Taesan got involved in that incident, which is why it turned out this way. Therefore, at this time, the Ilhak clan needs to act first. It turned out the person old Wonho was discussing with was none other than the representative leader of the Ilhak clan, Lee Seungmin. Hearing old Wonho's words, Seungmin also felt it made some sense. He suddenly sighed. I know that, but there still needs to be a just cause to start a war right now. Wonho heard that and urged Seungmin. Seungmin, if you keep hesitating like this, the opportunity will be snatched away by others. Wonho flicked his cigarette ash into the fish bucket and continued. Anyway, you're too cautious, you keep avoiding things. That's why the Ilhak clan is in its current state. If it were the former chairman when he was in office, he would have acted long ago, not sitting here afraid of his own shadow. And if the main association were the Blades, no one would dare to say a word. Wonho couldn't understand why the Ilhak clan has several sharp knives, so why must they be so reserved? Wonho continued to entice. I'm genuinely thinking of Director Seungmin. That's why I'm helping rebuild the Ilhak clan. The first step is to destroy the Taesan clan. After hearing that Seungmin stood up, he decided to act as the police chief said. The Ilhak clan will make the Taesan clan fall. Wonho saw this and smiled with delight, because it was exactly as his plan had laid out. He encouraged, that's the way, now go before it's too late. But Seungmin was no fool. He knew this guy was using him to destroy the Taesan clan. So he added another condition. In exchange, this project let us participate. Old Wonho glanced over his expression, not very pleased. He reminded, you should know your place. I just gave you a little praise, it wasn't high praise. So don't misunderstand, business is business. The Ansan project. How could the Ilhak clan possibly have what it takes to sit at the same table with the terrifying forces behind it? Returning to Lisu, the tan-skinned member of the Nine Blades hadn't even finished his sentence when Lisu landed a hook straight to his face, sending him flying backward, which surprised the group behind him. It didn't stop there. Lisu continued to fly forward, unleashing a barrage of punches, pummeling the tan-skinned guy, leaving him with no chance to fight back. Baek Lisu growled at the Nine Blades members here. I was away for too long, so you think you can make Taesan fall? The whole group was stunned by those words. Lisu's words were like slaps to the face of the entire group. No matter who incited you, or if you did it yourselves, you've all guessed wrong. I will find you, and today the Ilhak clan will no longer exist in this underworld. Lisu's face became ice-cold, devoid of any emotion. His words were not bluffs, nor were they spoken out of anger. He meant what he said. Seungmin saw the situation was too tense and intended to get out of the car, but a weapon suddenly appeared right in front of him, making his eyes widen. Waving the weapon in his hand, Cyan laughed and said, Didn't you hear earlier I was assigned the task of watching over you? Seungmin's face darkened with anger, but he couldn't do anything else other than remain silent and sit still in the car. Outside, after taking a beating and smelling the dirt, the tan-skinned guy was able to get up, put his glasses back on, and said, Oh my, our Director Baek. If it were a normal situation, he wouldn't act like this, and if you were 10 years older, you might have a chance against us. The two underlings saw their senior getting beaten. They didn't feel any danger or panic. They even laughed and said, I thought you were high. It's been a long time since I've seen you get hit. The tan-skinned guy with a bald head felt a bit annoyed with his underlings, not understanding what kind of underlings they were. Seeing him get hit, not only did they not intervene, but they just stood there laughing like they'd never laughed before. The joke was over. The Nine Blades were now serious. One of the two underlings who was just laughing began to act. He rushed towards Lisu at an incredible speed, driving his knee straight at Lisu's head, but the tattooed arm blocked it. Not just one, two more took advantage of the opening, and also attacked suddenly. But Lisu was no pushover to be easily hit like that. He neatly dodged those punches. But it's 3 against 1. If you're not maimed, you're crippled. Choi Wang-fan managed to grab Lisu's collar. He yelled, We are the 9 Blades of Ilhak, not some kids you can look down on. After saying that, he threw Lisu straight to the ground and added a punch straight to the stomach. Before Lisu could get his bearings, Li Guchang rushed over and kicked Lisu's head like a soccer ball. Luckily, he managed to raise his hand to block the last blow in time. Otherwise, the chance of dying would have been high. The eighth blade of the 9 blades. Jang Deokbai also seized the opportunity to throw a thunderous punch at Li Su. Li Su's expression changed noticeably. He quickly moved back to dodge, not daring to meet this guy's strength head-on. Just as he retreated, the tan-skinned guy with a shiny head had been standing behind him all along. He grabbed Baek Li Su's shoulder, intending to land a fatal blow. With his trained quick reflexes, Li Su immediately realized he ducked down, causing the punch to hit nothing but air. Li Su realized one thing: these guys were all very strong, and moreover, they were very skilled at coordinated attacks. These guys form a closed quadrilateral. If I just attack one corner and defeat one person, the whole thing will collapse. Putting thought into action, Li Su launched an all-out attack on the tan-skinned guy. He put all his strength into the punch, sending syrup flying. The punch stunned the tan-skinned guy. He almost fainted on the spot. Luckily, his underlings caught him in time. Otherwise, their senior would have been eating dirt again. Taking advantage of their senior getting hit, the underling immediately taunted. "You're getting old, so you're not as sharp." The tan-skinned guy could only remain silent. The fight resumed. Li Sunmong rushed forward to grab Li Su's shirt, trying to hold him down to make it easier for his brothers to attack. But somehow, Li Su had already slipped out of his sleeve, preventing him from executing his plan. But these tough old guys were no pushovers. They were all seasoned veterans of the underworld. Sunmong had somehow circled behind, grabbing Li Su's head, making him unable to move, and the tan-skinned guy named Dok Jo Yongjin took that opportunity to punch straight into Li Su's pretty face. Sion saw Li Su getting ganged up on and felt indignant for his senior. These uncles are old, but they fight dirty. Sungmin, sitting behind, had returned to his initial calm demeanor. He said proudly, "The knife of Ilhak is the 9 blades. Everyone says so. The Ilhak of the past is no longer the glorious era of Ilhak. But one immutable thing remains. Ilhak still has the 9 blades, and the strength of the blades is something ordinary. Gangsters cannot compare to." At the same time, Jin Young was also getting pummeled by old Choi Chunho. Jin Young's large body was thrown onto the hood of the car, shattering the tempered glass. Choi Chunho chuckled, rolling up his sleeves, preparing for the fight with Jin Young. He reminded him, "Don't be too hasty, Jin Young. The bond between us ends here." This is the challenge from Choi Chunho in particular, and the Ilhak clan in general to Jin Young and the entire Taesun clan returning to the deserted cargo port at night. Sungmin was still proud when talking about the 9 blades. "You are no match for the 9 blades." Hearing that, Sion replied very calmly, "These gangster uncles are really something. Sungmin, don't go anywhere, just sit tight." Sungmin thought Sion would run to help Li Su, but it seems there was a misunderstanding here. Sion wondered, "Help me help." Sion laughed, waving his hand, and said, "Actually, anyway, you guys don't really know who you're dealing with." Sion emphasized to Lee Sungmin that if I don't go out there and stop my boss, then this day next year will probably be the death anniversary of those uncles. On this side, Baek Li Su was still being ganged up on by the 9 blades. He just punched the red-haired uncle in the stomach. Then Lee Sumong rushed in from nowhere, punching Li Su back with the exact same blow. He also reminded him that, "Don't try too hard, or you'll end up dead in the end. The Taesun clan will have to fall anyway." 2 more members of the 9 blades continued to rush forward and attack. They decided to go for a quick victory because dragging it out with this guy was a bit time-consuming. But before they could join the fight, Sion had already rushed in to support Li Su. He launched himself and kicked Li Guchang straight in the face. The kick was so painful it made his head spin. Guchang took this blow and staggered, unable to stand firm. Only with Jang Deokbai's help did he manage not to fall. Li Guchang said bitterly, "You want to test your strength too?" U-Dog Sion dusted off his clothes as if not paying much attention to the fight before him. He whined, "I gu. It hasn't reached that point yet. It would be better if you uncles dealt with me." Returning to Baek Li Su as Uncle Sumong's fist was about to hit his face, his eyes suddenly changed. Li Su began to fight seriously, using the skills he had been trained in. With just a few basic moves, he neutralized all of Uncle Sumong's techniques. Choi Wang-fan and Yongjin, standing to one side, also froze for a few seconds, seeing what just happened. Because the last move not only completely broke Sumong's attack, but Li Su also dislocated the uncle's arm, unable to move. Sumong couldn't believe that in such a short moment, Li Su could do that. Suddenly, Yongjin waited for Wang Fan, but it was too late. Uncle Wang Fan had taken Sumong's place and rushed to attack Li Su. Wang Fan raised his leg high, intending to land a straight blow to Baek Li Su's head. A grim expression was clear on his face. He raised his hand to catch Wang Fan's descending leg, reminiscing for a moment. When they were old comrades, Section Chief Jang had commented that Baek Li Su not only does he have a good physique, but he's also extremely strong. He has no flaws, both in fighting and in life. He's not the type of person who backs down when hurt. Sometimes there are people like that. Both their spirit and body are incredibly strong, so they will absolutely not be defeated. In times like that, you have to bind their legs, bind their hands, so they can't move. The result is, the spirit won't be able to withstand the body. Section Chief Zhang also contributed to training and creating a monster. He increased Baek Li Su's endurance with locking techniques. Even if the pain was unbearable, he was still forced to endure it. Returning to the battle, only the pained screams of Wang Fan remained here. The uncle screamed in pain, clutching his leg. Yongjin stood aside, whether he wanted to or not. This uncle had to admit this Baek Dokyung in front of him was a true monster. At this point, Seungmin saw the situation was no longer under control and started to get flustered. About to do something. Seungmin paused, remembering his previous conversation with the police chief. This Wonho had once asked him, "What are you going to do with Baek Dokyung?" Seungmin at that time didn't understand what that question meant. Wonho warned him again. Baek Dokyung has a twin brother, so Baek Dokyung is probably a bit different from other thugs. You have to block hit continuously, otherwise you'll miss. Seungmin at that time just listened silently without saying anything more. Returning to the unfinished battle between Baek Li Su and the 9 Blades this time, it was the tan-skinned Uncle Yongjin's turn to get a beating. Yongjin knelt on the ground, his hands hanging limp as if his arms had just been broken, unable to move anymore. Li Su, like a god of death. His eyes looked like he wanted to destroy his opponent. He threw a punch, intending to finish off this Uncle Yongjin, and then the other members. But Seungmin spoke up to stop things from going too far. "Stop! Stop right here!" Seungmin had just gotten out of the car and immediately approached Li Su.